Hello everyone and welcome to Tonic TV, the craftiest show you know. Here's what's coming up on today's show. First up, we'll be going through the weekend's bundles and finding out what amazing deals we've got going on the website. Alison shows just how versatile the Basket Beautiful die sets can be. And we've got a technique of the week from our design team. So that's what's coming up on today's show. First of all, let's talk about the awesome deals we've got on the store this weekend. So our weekend bundles run from Friday all the way until Monday, and there are some amazing deals on paper and Nouveau embellishment. So let's find out what's available this weekend. First up, we've got a Nouveau bundle of 7 drops containing crystal, vintage and glitter drops available on the store this weekend at 50% off. We've got a 6x6 paper pack bundle next with 4 6x6 pads containing 24 sheets in each. These are available at 40% off. Next, we've got a Nouveau embellishment bundle with 4 vibrant shades of Nouveau embellishment mousse at 60% off. Our ink pad bundles next with 3 large ink pads in blue, green and red available at 30% off. Our Nouveau Aquaflow bundles next with our Dreaming Colour, Surprise Party and Ocean Air Trend colours. These Nouveau Aquaflows are available this weekend at 50% off. And finally, we got a mega card and paper bundle for you in glitter card, pearlescent, speciality card and speciality paper. This awesome bundle is available for you at 60% off. So there you have it. Those are this weekend's bundles on the Tonic Studio store. As you can see, there's some brilliant deals on Nouveau and Craft Perfect cardstock. But next up, we're going to speak to Alison Whelan, who's going to show us the Basket Beautiful die sets in action.
Good morning, happy Sunday. What are we showing you today? Right, today we have got Basket Bonita. I don't know whether you've seen our basket ranges before, but there's a huge variety you can make just from a couple of dies. I'm just going to share with you one, but I got lots of examples to show you. So Basket Bonita Carter is the basket I'm going to share with you today. But there are 3 baskets in the range. So there's Basket Bonita Carter, which is the smaller basket. Then we have Mediana, which is the medium size. And we also have Grandiosa, which is the large basket. And you'll see all the differences in sizes as I move along. To go with this, you are going to need your Basket Beautiful base die set. If you already have it, then that's fine. But if you don't, you will need to purchase a basket set for the base.
That's the way that this range works. You've got your base, right? And you're going to be able to use this base for all the other sets, these accessory sets that you get with it, to create loads of different ones. So once you have your base set, you can just pick and choose the ones that you love, these accessory sets, to create loads of different. So when Ali talks about the variety that you see in there, that's it. You just build from this base that you use again and again. So that's your core bit. You have your base. Then you just take a pick from these sets and you can create some amazing baskets, as you're going to see in a moment.
So this is how your set will look, your Carter set, when you open it. And I know we've had a few little questions of how they go together. This is what I'm going to make today. So I think it's it reminds me of a little girl's rose basket. You know, if you're a flower girl and you want to throw your rose petals, that's the shape of basket this reminds me of. But it's good for putting a little afternoon tea. What about doing an afternoon tea and leaving it on your friend's doorstep where they can find it later? Yeah. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. So let's make a start. Let me show you where are the main dies in this set, because that's what I like to show you for starters. So this is the shape of your sides of the basket. But then you're going to decide what top you need. Because if you look at this, we've got 2 different tops. We've got the one, let me show you from the top down, that's easier. We've got the one that curves inwards, but we've also got the one that your handle nestles into. So you need to decide, are you cutting a curved side or are you cutting a handle? So obviously you're going to need at least 2 handles, although I'll show you some that you may need 4. But I won't confuse matters, we'll go with the 2 for starters. So here's my cardstock, and today I'm using Lemon Luster. So if you check out online, there's some special offers on this card.
That's it, and these sets as well you'll find online. If you go on the store, you can have a little browse. There's loads on there. If you haven't been on the Tonic store in ages, maybe your first time stumbling across this video, Our store is your one-stop shop for anything craft, to be honest. We've got scissors, we've got embellishments in mediums, so from your mousses, all that kind of stuff. You've got pens and pencils. We got dies, which are obviously a staple on our website. Loads and loads, and some awesome bargains. Pretty much, we have some sort of sale or bargain thing going on. At least once, at least every day at the moment. So check that out, and I'm sure you'll find something brilliant.
We all love a bargain.
Yeah.
Just to let you know as well, Deluxe Adhesive is back in stock. If you want it, grab it now because it never stays there long. So if you want the number to have a little gander, it is 200N to have a little browse. Right then, so what are we going to do now? So cut the base, as you can see, is still attached to my cardstock. So you're either going to take this die, which is going to make your handle, or this die, which is going to make a side to your box. Take the die. It will almost sit into that wedge that you've already cut. You've got two little lines on the side. Check your die is central there. Tape it down and then run it through your machine. And that will give you the sides to your box. There we are. Just come back before I go through the wall. If you're wondering what machine I'm using our Tangerine. So there we are. That's created the top of my box. So from the die set, this will give you the shape. Let me just show you from the back to start with. That is the two different shapes. So if you can see, the one with the little, almost like a tongue in the middle, is to attach your handle to. The other one will give you the dip for the side. So I've decorated these. So I'll show you the dies I've used for decorating. Once you take the big pieces away, you can see all your decoration. So I've used the little piece for the tongue. You do have dies that you can add a decorative panel as well. So I've stuck that there. There's the little side panels I've stuck to the sides. And there's a little, almost like a piece of pie. And that is one piece that goes in the middle there. There are also two decorative pieces that cover the sides of your box. So they are all your little extras. Before I glued all those, I cut my central panel in and I stuck a piece on the background just to fill the box in. So we've got a gorgeous little fairy design. But if you're not really into fairy, she's not obvious. You can make a big thing of the fairy and colour her in, but she's sitting right in the centre there amongst the flowers. So you could cut her out and stick her on top. Depends how much detail you want to make of the fairy. So for the other side as well, we've cut this die. So I've cut that into the Cosmic Copper, which is again on offer. And I've cut in these little panels into the cream. So that's our decoration. So I know you don't want to watch me die cut in forever, so I'm just going to put those to one side and then we can assemble the box then. So for your base set, let me just move that out to the way. Your base set of dies, what does this contain? Well, this contains 3 different size bases. You've got a square, a hexagon and an octagon, plus it contains your handle. So it's a vital part that you're going to need to put these boxes together. So I have cut 2 hexagons. The reason I use 2 is because I like to cover all my glue-in tabs. So take your one part and I'm going to pop it upside down and I'll show you why. Because when I bring them all around, they'll all be on the right side. So we're just going to glue these tabs together. I'm using the Deluxe Adhesive, and the reason I like this is because it's a quick grab. And you know what we like, we don't want to hang around for long when we're making boxes. So just make sure you glue that into the centre of your your hexagon. So look at the front. Is your fold line right on the edge of the hexagon? That's where it needs to sit. On the edge and in the middle. A little bit more glue. And again, work your way around. So push that one right up against the next one and keep going. Another little bit. And I'm really loving the copper colours at the moment. I said this the other week when I was using the rustic desk.
Finding out more about our products every...
Exactly.
Discovering some of the papers.
Well, we just seem to... We tend to get in a rut with our colours, I think. And sometimes it's nice to look at other colours that you wouldn't normally use. And it almost brings your palette alive again then.
Well, I say, because we bring, you know, every quarter, let's say, like we do a trend launch and we'll release a new colour palette of papers and cardstock. But like I said, there's only so many shades you can use in a card and things like that. So you may have missed some of them. So it's well worth having a look at our papers, like Alison's saying there, and have a look down at the papers and cards that we got on offer, because your dream cardstock might be there and you've missed it, because we do launch a lot of products. So maybe you missed it in the meantime. And I think that's it. It's just looking over. There's so much on that website to take a look at. Well worth having a look at some of the cardstock that we've got on there, Craft Perfect cardstock.
Why did I move that piece then? The reason I moved it because it's another handle and we need to make sure our handles are opposite each other. So sometimes you're better off sticking your handles in first and then working around. So that is all my base parts glued together. So give them a good press. Then you can bring the sides up. And then we're going to glue the tabs together. So you've got 2 tabs on the outside. But these can equally go on the inside. Cut one off and pop it on the inside of your basket. So a little bit of glue. Bring the 2 tabs together so they line up. Give them a little pinch. If you've got little pegs, pop your pegs on and you keep moving then. So another little bit of glue on the next one. The card I've used is a pearlescent card. It's 250 GSM. If you're only making a small basket, you would get away with using our Craft Perfect. And I'll show you some of the smaller ones now. But in general, I would tend to go for a thicker GSM for making 3D items. Because they tend to last a little bit longer. They'll take a little bit more weight. If you're going to use the thinner card, then they're going to take lighter items. It depends what you want to give your recipient. You know, if you've got a heavy jar of jam or something, then I wouldn't use a thinner card. Oops, a little bit of a slide there.
So could you do these with tape if you wanted to do them?
You could do them with tape. The only reason I use glue is because I think it gives you a better longevity. The tape in sunlight, in heated areas, the tape tends to come apart, and over time it will always come apart. I don't see it as a long-term gluing medium. But sometimes you just need something quick.
Yeah. And
I accept that as well. Okay, so what do we do next? So all our little, they almost say little wings on the side. We've got 2 little tabs then on the top, and they are going to lap over each other. So the curved one goes on the bottom. The flatter shape one goes on the top. So we're just going to work our way around, gluing these in place.
Sorry, Alison. Do you want to move me closer to the middle?
Oh, sorry. There we are. So we're just going to work around the top. I tend to kind of hug my projects when I'm gluing them, so I do apologise. There we are. A little bend there. And as you can see how quick they are to go together. Decoration wise, you put as little or as much as you choose. You can go to town or you can make them really simple.
And that's it. All the different selections of sets that you have to go along with that basket, you incorporate, as I said at the start, you incorporate that onto your base. So your base, you're going to need that for all the baskets that you make. But then these other sets that are part of the Basket Beautiful collection, whether it be the first collection that we did or the second, they all go with this original base. So yeah, you create all these baskets that you're going to see towards the end of this demo now as we look through. Yeah, you can just pick and choose and choose them and create sort of unlimited number of different type of styles of basket. It's yeah, there's loads to this set.
There we go. So there we'd all, oh, one more I've missed. How did I miss that one? There we go. So it almost cradles whatever gift you put inside these, your basket cradles it and keeps it all neat and tidy. So there's our basket, all finished, all decorated. Then we come to the handle. Now the handle comes in your base set as well. So you have, let me just show you the handle. You've got 3 parts to the handle. You've got a large handle, a small handle, and you've got a decorative panel which cuts a pattern into the smaller one. Or the larger one, doesn't matter. But I've just used these plain. So I've cut 2 of the larger ones, 2 of the smaller. So there's my larger in the copper. So I'm just going to glue the 2 layers together. So there's almost a line. The die gives you a line. And that's what I'm going to use for lining up. Then the next 2 I'm going to glue on top. There we are. And then I'm going to butt these up to the end. Don't worry about the bit on the bottom. That's not going to be seen. That's just a spare bit. There we are. And they will butt up right up against each other. And that's your handle made. So I'm going to leave that to dry a minute because I want to bend the handle, and it's not going to bend if it's not glued. So we've got a little tag as well. So the tag is in your little basket bonita. So there's your tag. So I've cut one of those, and then I've used the little panel to cut into a cream layer and also into a lemon luster layer. And then I've cut the little love tag into the lemon luster. So we'll glue these together. Remember to put this handle on before you glue put this tag on before you glue your handle in place, because otherwise you're going to be stuck. You're going to have to ribbon it on. So we'll have a little foam pad on the back, just to give a little bit of depth. There we go. Now the other bit I haven't done, that's the bottom of my basket. And I want to cover all these tabs, one for strength, but also to keep it neat and tidy. There we are. And that just slots on the base. You've hidden all your workings. You don't want to show people how you've made things. Keep it a secret. So there we are. There's our handle. So you can use a bone folder, or you can just curve this with your fingers, because obviously you're going to want a bit of a curve in your handle.
And as I say, you could snip off those tabs and just have it as a basket, you know.
Exactly. You can make it as long or as short as you like. Obviously, I would leave it a little bit longer to dry, so it may bow a little bit in the top, but you can get the gist.
Yeah, you could do like a really tall, I don't know what type of basket that would be called, but like a really tall handle.
You can double these handles as well. I'll show you some of the other baskets. So I'm going to glue inside my basket here. You can glue on the outside and put an extra layer of the little decoration to cover. Entirely up to you. So we'll put some glue just in the centre, and hold that in place. So I'm bringing it right the way down to the crease line. That's giving me extra strength, and it's giving me a gluing point as well. So a little bit more glue on the other side. And just bring your handle down. And there's your handle in place. So as I say, it has peaked a little bit. I would give it a little bit longer to glue, and then I can shape it a little bit better. So there is our lovely basket bonita carter.
And that's it, and that's why just one of the...
That's just one. So shall we, give the glue a chance to dry now. I'll show you some of the others. So this basket bonita carter, because your base has got 4 shapes, you can make a little 4-sided box. The handles, these have been up to Create and Craft and come back to us, so they've got a little bit bowed in transit. You can cover the join with a flower if you want to. That's a really cutie. So that's your 4-sided. This is your 6-sided. So you can see the sizing of them. Decorate the top with your handle panels. And then we have the 8-sided. So you can see there's a big difference, and it all depends on what you were given. So that's the first basket. Your next basket then, let me show you this one. This is your mediana. So this is our medium size, as you can guess from the name. So we'll go to, let me have a little look. There's our 4-sided. The little ribbon rosette on the top is done from the handle dies as well. This is our 4-sided, so ideal for a little candle. Lovely little bit of colouring on the sides and a little bit of shimmer. So that's the 4. Then we go to the 6. Now this is the idea I was saying, that we've got double the handles. We've got them crossed over here, and you can do that with any of the baskets. So that's your 6-sided. Or you may decide, I don't really want a handle on it. I want to put a nice plant or something inside. This is your 8-sided. So it's a fair size. Then we're going to move on to our grandiosa. So this is your 4-sided grandiosa, which holds one of the miniature wines. So these panels are a lot bigger.
And that's it, you could put a bit of tissue in there just to keep it steady.
You could. This is your 6-sided, again, a lot bigger. And then I'm just going to bring in from behind me, because I'm just going to jump off the stool a sec. Because I don't want to...
We need another table, don't we?
I do.
When all this COVID stuff's over, we can, once again, I can be the dog's body again, just doing that for you.
Look at the size on this. That's a lovely baby basket.
Really pretty.
You know, how would your recipient feel?
Really
the
nice.
mother of this child would be over the moon.
And there's a nice thing like that's one of the benefits of a cardstock like version, say of a basket. It's like you're not necessarily, that person doesn't then have to keep that basket for
I think you would.
I was going to say the other way. So if it was like you keep the basket there, or if you just wanted to, they want to use it for something else, they can use it for something else and do it that way. It doesn't have to stick to one sort of design or one sort of purpose.
I think these would look lovely on your dressing table.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got your cotton wool bowls or things like that. I think they would look lovely in them. And I want to share this with you as well. This is made from the Grandiosa basket with the kaleidoscope base. I don't think the light works anymore. I think we've kind of exhausted the batteries here. Yeah. But this is a whopping project to make. And this is made by Victoria DL. If you check out her Facebook page or her YouTube, she shows you exactly how to make this. And I just think it's stunning. Yeah, absolutely stunning.
Lots of other wow projects on her page as well.
She loves the 3D project, as Vicky.
What other stuff have we seen? Like there was.
She did a mailbox, didn't she? The American style mailbox, a caravan.
there's something like
the camera.
The camera, yeah. So she done a few videos on YouTube, and she's got started over there, and yeah, some great. If you want to just see our dyes taken to the extreme, like to like
extreme crafting,
yeah,
for Vicky.
to like something that is wow, like really like imagination, like to the edge. Then check that out, because yeah, she's awesome, Vicky. Check it.
I mean, I think this is a project I would love to try. So give it a go.
Yeah.
Have some fun this weekend. Happy crafting.
Thanks, Alison, for that wonderful demo. If you're interested in the Basket Beautiful die sets, they're available on the store now, so go take a look. Next up, we have got a technique of the week from our design team.
Hello lovelies, it's Tony P here, and today my little hint and tip for you is about your scissors. We can't do without them, can we? We like them to be nice and sharp, but no matter how hard we try, sometimes they will blunt, because card and paper do blunt scissors. It's just a fact of life, I suppose. So if you've got a pair that you really like and you're thinking, oh, they've got a bit blunt and I don't know what I can do to sharpen them, I'm going to show you a quick way that you can do it. Now, there is a train of thought that says you can cut into tinfoil, and to a point it does work. But this is the way I tend to do it, and it just involves a cup. The cup you need, or the cups are available by the way, has to have an unglazed bit on the bottom. So you've got your shiny bit and it's got to have a dull bit as well. And you're going to use that to sharpen. Now on your scissors, you've got like a smooth bit there and you've got your cutting edge. It's that cutting edge we're going to just run along there like that. Just a couple of times like that. Do the same on the other side. Do the same like that on the other side, both sides. Whoops. Now you'll find they're as good as new. Hope that's helped, and enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.
Hi, it's Jen Cray, and today I'm sharing a tip with you on how to create the perfect border for your stamp sentiment with your Tim Holtz paper trimmer. Once you've stamped your sentiment out, what you want to do is you just want to line it up to the end of your sentiment. So where that L is, there's like this plastic bit on the trimmer, and that's where you want to line the L up to. So if you want to do that on all four sides, it gives you a perfect border. If you wanted to make the sentiment longer, then you could just trim that to like whatever size that you wanted to. But doing it this way will still ensure that you get the perfect border on each side of it. So like the width of it is perfect. I just think it's a really neat tip. I kind of stumbled upon it, a few months ago. I didn't think to use my trimmer in this way. And yeah, so it was kind of like, I was chuffed to bits about it. So I thought I'd show everybody else. You might do this already. I don't know. I just thought it was a really neat tip to show. You might want to add a matten layer to your stamp sentiment. I do this quite a lot, and you use the same technique. So you line up that end of the white sentiment that you've got there to that plastic bit, and then you do that 4 times the around. So you're not taking it to the end of the words now. You're taking it to the end of the white border that you've got, and that's creating another border. Sort of the perfect matten layer border, and it's symmetrical again all the way around. Once you've done all 4 sides, you're going to have the perfect border for your sentiment to add to your cards and your projects. I hope you've enjoyed this little hint today, and I'll be back hopefully next week with another tip for you. Have a great weekend, and I'll speak to you soon.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria DL and I'm part of Tonic Studio's design team. I have a top tip for you today regarding the paper trimmer. Many of you will either use the top of your paper trimmer and you'll cut from here upwards. Just because it's nearer to me at my desk, I tend to use the bottom part of the paper trimmer, and I will cut from the top downwards. Now it's important, because I've heard many of you say that you're not getting very long out of your blades. It is important that if you are in the habit of cutting in either direction and not just up and down, that you must remove the blade and actually turn it around and use the other side of your blade. It's easy to pop in and out of the ruler, and that way you're getting to use both sides of the blade, so you're going to get longer out of each blade that you put into your trimmer. Also, I've heard many of you say that your card is frayed or the edge isn't as neat as you'd hoped, and this little, I would say this gully, I don't know what else you would call it really, collects debris in it over time, and you never think about it at the time. But if you use something like a pin or something fine and just go from the top of your trimmer all the way down here, you will get an awful lot of debris and bits of paper and card. I mean, I do mine regularly, so there's not going to be an awful lot comes out of mine, but it's quite deep in there, and the card just gathers and gathers, and so the blade really hasn't got a free motion. So it's important that you do clean this out from time to time. I hope that tip helps, and thank you very much for joining me today. Hope to see you again soon.
Hi everyone, it's Lou Sims, and I hope you're all safe and well. I'm here today to share some hints and tips using your Nouveau Shimmer or Nouveau Sparkle sprays. So let's see what tips I can give you. Tips and ideas for using the wonderful shimmer or the sparkle sprays from the Nouveau brand. Now I always tip one, store mine on their side. The reason for that is it is quicker to activate the mica, but also you have less likelihood of the mica being stuck in the bottom when you activate it. So if I turn this one round, you can see where it's been on the side there, that is all the settled mica within the spray. Now, personally for me, if you just gently roll and gently activate the two together, so you're mixing the mica with the pigment colour within the spray. The gentler you do it, the less air bubbles you create. And although we don't want the mica to go up the actual straw, we don't also want air bubbles. Air bubbles affect the way we spray. So it's just doing nice gentle rolls back and forth. If you prefer, just roll it back and forth across your table, and you just carry on going until everything is mixed together. I can still see there's some to be mixed, so I can just keep going. And you just gradually do it bit by bit, nice and gentle, nice and soft, and the two will slowly combine together to create that beautiful shimmer that we want when we spray. So if I have a look round, there's still a little bit there, but I can see it's moving within. So just by doing a gentle roll, even this way, I'm mixing up the product together. In the actual sparkle sprays, you can actually hear a little ball bearing, which will help mix everything together as well. And it's exactly the same principle as before. We're just going to mix them very gently. We don't want all the particles to go rushing up the tube, and that includes we don't want air bubbles either going up the tube. Right, I've got a selection all together, so let's have a go with a little bit of spraying. So I'm going to bring in a journal that I'm working with. So I'm just going to move these to one side and bring my journal in. Right, so I brought my journal in and just going to spray a few of the sprays. So gently, as I said before, I always give a nice little gentle swirl, or you can roll it gently. It's making your movements nice and soft. So I take the lid off and just going to spray. Now, for me personally, when I spray, if you spray higher up, obviously the droplets are going to be further away, so they give a softer effect. If you spray nearer, you get bigger droplets and a deeper colour, as you can see from there. Now, we all talk about cleaning these out, and I've got a top tip for what I do with mine for cleaning out in a moment. So let's add some more colour. if I go closer, as you can see, if I go higher. Now, if you press your nozzle and you just give a really, hardly press it down at all, you'll get lovely, great big splatters rather than a fine spray, as you can see there. So that's another way of using the sprays. And let's do a bit of sparkle next. Let's go for a contrast. So I'm just going to go right quite high up, and then I'm going to go a little bit closer. As you can see, it creates a more of a detailed pattern closer by. Again, change your angle, go side on, and it creates another new look with it. You don't always have to go from the top, so you can change your angle, and that way then you can change the direction of the spray you want to use. So if I went down this way, I've got my spray going down my page. As you can see, going sideways, I've got it going across my page. So there's lots of different ways you can use the sprays. So I'm going to put the book to one side because obviously that's not a finished page, but that was to give you some ideas about the sprays. So change direction, go high up to create a beautiful soft look, go really close in to create deeper spatters, gently just push down the nozzle, and I mean just push it down, and you get great big splatters. So there's lots of different ways you can use the sprays. So let's just move that to one side. And I'm going to bring in my water. Now we all know that once we've finished with our sprays, we have to clean the nozzle. So let's just, I'm just going to take that out. And I'm going to put it in some water to clean it. But what I like to do is not to waste it. I will use it on my mop-up, as you can see, or I will use it straight away into a journal. So I'm not wasting that spray. So I'm going to keep going until it goes clear. And that's then the tube clean. Now this is on the outside. I like to clean the outside bit too. Not for any other reason other than in my head I now know the whole of that nozzle's clean. So I clean that part there. I will also clean the nozzle part up here and just double check there's nothing caught in there, because that keeps that nice and free. And then the other thing I do is I actually take the tube away. Now the tube does come away, and then it just fits nice and neatly back in. You can then clean out any part from there. And what I do, I actually put this part back in without the tube. So I'm going to put my lid back on so it doesn't go that way. And then what I do is I just get an elastic band and I just put it around my bottle, and then I just put my tube there. So I now know that tube goes with that bottle. I know the tube is perfectly clean, and I can start that spray straight again, and I will put it in my drawer so it's sitting there nice and flat. That's to give you a quick tip about how to use our sprays. And how I like to look after them so I get the longevity out of the tube and out of my spray as well. There are so many more things we can do with our beautiful Nouveau sprays. That's just the starting point for you. I hope that was of help. Hope to see you all soon. Take care.
And that's it for Tonic TV this week. We've got loads of stuff going on this week on the Tonic Studio store, and if you want to find out about it, just check our website or our social pages. So until next week, see you all soon.